about that.
He's probably the president.
Thinking. Hey guys, welcome. We are live at the range. Ron, it's nice to see you back, man. You've been gone like...
I haven't been gone.
Skipping out on our lives for at least like 4 weeks now.
Maybe I've been skipping out a little bit. But
yeah.
You have so much talent here.
I know. And so it's nice. So we've had a lot of other people on and had some good conversations. We had Sid on a couple of weeks ago, which if any of you guys want to be on the show, let us know. Come on in.
Anybody?
Just about.
Cory Booker's looking for as much...
No. No.
As much exposure.
Well, I mean, you know what? Sure, why not?
Let's send him an invitation.
You can do that.
Let's email him. Say, hey, come on down to the range and visit with us.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't know if he'll show up. It's kind of against his thing.
But what if he did? What if
I think we have a better chance of getting Trump to show up than we do of getting...
Well, if we're going there, if we want to go for an A-lister, then we got to get Ted Nugent in here.
Dude, totally down with that.
I'd bring my guitar and set it up and turn the and I'd just sit here and
dude, like.
Do you remember when he did that? He had a TV show that he did.
Spirit of the Wild.
Spirit of the Wild.
Heck yeah,
where he'd take all those millennials out and make them sleep in the dirt and shovel poop and
definitely
shoot stuff. That was awesome.
No, he does that on a normal. He does that on a normal, and you can actually pay to go through that with him. He sells hunts through his safari ranch.
Yep.
All of the extra proceeds to it get donated through his Ted Nugent
That's awesome.
deal.
So anyway, Uncle Ted, you have
501c.
an open invitation. I know that you're probably watching us every week.
Absolutely.
You have an open invitation to come here anytime that you want, and
yeah, anytime.
Everything goes.
Anytime.
Anyway, so.
Yes. We got some fun stuff. We got, let's see, intermediate handgun tomorrow.
Some cool,
we have
classes.
Basic handgun on Saturday.
Always classes.
What do we got? Sunday is I forgot to write it all down, but.
The trainer's right there, I can tell you.
What's on Sunday?
I'm on vacation, I don't know.
Oh, Sunday's on vacation for Phil. So Phil has decided, well then let's just jump into this. One of the other things happening in St. Louis this weekend, I kind of wonder.
There's a reason that you talk about training first, right?
Yes.
We do all kinds of training. We were named Missouri's best shooting range second year in a row.
Yep, 2018 and 2019.
A big part of that isn't just the range, the facility, the people. It's the training that we do here. It's the education. Yep. I've taken a lot of classes. There isn't anybody better than Phil out there that's teaching these classes. The guys that he's got on his staff, Vinny and Cam and Kelly, military, law enforcement, Rob, both of the Robs, super, super high level training. What I love about it though is even though they've got that kind of a background, it's not military style training, so that when you screw something up, you don't have to do push-ups, right?
I don't know. I mean, with Phil, I could see that. Depends on the class, I think.
But we're going to talk about a bunch of things that are going on around the country and in St. Louis specifically, and just to show people why you should
the training,
and it's not just firearms. I mean, we're teaching a class. This is extremely important to talk about because we've got a story that we want to cover here. A couple of them. We've got a class coming up August 31st. I think there's only 6 seats left. And we call it our college preparedness course. But if you have a son, daughter, wife, I don't care, that that isn't really aware of what's going on around them.
Situational awareness is what you're
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Making smart decisions, being aware of what's going on around you. That's what that class is. It's 2 hours. We talk about situational awareness. We talk about how to use your voice. We talk about some basic hand-to-hand techniques that you can use to defend yourself with. I think it's invaluable.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
We'll talk about why here in just a minute, because I know you got, 4 pages of... 3 pages of stuff.
Yep.
That we gotta, I might get worked up in here. Do we?
Yeah, and before we get to that though, I gotta ask Phil about this. So Phil, this weekend, what are you doing?
Does he know you're asking him about
No, he has no idea what I'm asking him right now. He's giving me this weird look. Because I'm wondering, because the St. Louis World Naked Bike Riders Associate organizers are gearing up for their naked bike ride this weekend, and just wondering, is there a sponsorship thing that we need to be promoting here for Phil
So
in his naked bike ride this
When
weekend.
you ride naked, couple of questions. Number one, do you use a bigger seat? Because I've seen the seat on your bike, and I don't see that happening. And number two, do you use a belly band?
I probably have to. If it was in downtown, I'd have to.
Yeah. Because I know you're going to have a gun on.
I hope. But then again, as a criminal, if you put your criminal hat on, would you attack in any way a naked bike rider? Chances are they're not going to have much money on
Yeah,
them, and
that's a
it's
good point.
pretty easy to see that they don't have much
How
on
do
them
you ride a bike naked?
with your feet.
Yeah, same way you do when you have
You
clothes
just
on.
pedal,
Same.
you just go faster.
I don't
More
get it.
aerodynamic.
Where is this event at?
It's in St. Louis.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year.
Every year, and I think
What?
it was what
Yeah.
started in 1960.
Where do they ride?
Or something like that. Downtown.
All
Like
right.
on the downtown
Okay.
streets, there will be a
We-
bunch of naked bike riders this weekend.
All right, you need to go down there and get some video.
I don't know if I want to do that.
The vast majority of them are not naked, but there are naked.
Why would you?
How-
Wait a
how do they
minute.
get away
The
with
vast majority are not naked at a naked bike ride.
Or bras and underwear or whatever, but there are people that will ride naked, but the majority of them do not.
Okay. My
See, I
dad-
think they should call it the St. Louis World Semi-Naked, but it's okay if you are naked bike ride then.
My dad always said it takes those kind of people to make us look good.
I mean,
I'll do it next year. I'll plan my vacation around it.
All right.
you guys heard it here. So
You're-
Phil is going to do the naked bike ride next year. He's looking for volunteers to ride in the little, do you call it like a group, a squad? What do you call it, like a gaggle?
A gaggle sounds good.
No, it
A
doesn't.
gaggle's a group of, like, what is it, turkeys, isn't it? Turkey, no.
I just
flock.
came up with a term for you,
The
but I'm not
that's a
gonna say it.
goose. The geese.
Because it was like,
A group of geese is a gaggle.
Yeah.
A gaggle of geese.
Uh-huh.
So the bike riders.
what's a group of
Bike riders that are naked.
middle-aged dads called?
I don't know, but I did
Dad-
see
the
somebody
dad
that
bod
said they
gang?
don't want to be called the dad bod. They prefer the term father figure. Thought that was pretty nice.
All right. Oh, you just burned an
So
image
see-
into my head that I'm just like, ooh.
Right. So let's segue off of the fun laughing at Phil for naked and the non-naked nakedness, and let's talk about something exciting.
This came in today.
This came in today. It's obviously a Glock. But look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. That is Gen 5. You can see the bright orange follower on
get
there.
this.
Leave
Get
that
that off
on
of
there
there.
because
Come
it's
on.
just nifty. It says
So-
we've got you covered. It's a lifetime replacement on these.
Yeah, so Davidson's, this is a Davidson's exclusive. They are one of our vendors,
Look at that.
and they do some cool stuff. We're going to be getting a number of really cool looking, they do that with Glocks and FNs and all kinds of different, and SIGs. They got some really cool looking SIGs.
Yeah, it is.
It's,
It is nice. It's got night sights on it.
Yep.
So it's a pretty sweet
Markup.
setup so far. Gen 5, G19, done up. This is not a Cerakote. It seems to be some sort of anodizing or something because it's actually got a rough texture on there. I like it a lot.
1776.
1776
That's
on the
version.
sides there.
Yeah. That's cool.
It
That's
is
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, everybody's got a 19.
And we ordered this. This one originally, I guess this one was ordered for.
Well, we ordered two. We ordered two.
An individual's wife wanted
Yep.
this one because she went back and forth.
She knew she wanted a
Speaking
19,
of training, they've done a bunch of training, and so over the weekend, while they were doing a bunch of training, she was shooting the SIG, she was shooting the Glocks,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of different ones, I guess, and. She preferred the Glock, and she came in yesterday and shot with Phil for some more private lesson time, and decided, you know what, I need one of these, and went with one of these, and we figured, you know what, that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
I have to bring that
Yep.
in.
So we're going to be getting some more stuff from them, cool looking stuff, just kind of an example of what you can
awesome.
see coming, but that's unique, cool, and definitely a serious tool.
It's fancy.
It's not just pretty like me. I mean, it actually works.
You're right. It actually works, unlike you. Is that what you're saying?
I said it first.
I know. That's
said
right.
it
I'm
first.
just agreeing. I just wanted to make sure that we knew that that's what you were agreeing, that you have
I
been
threw
seriously
it out
slacking in the whole showing up for work lately. Mr. I'm going to go on a vacation and I'm going to take off time and I'm going to go play
You know
with
what?
kids and
You know, I
grandkids and
realized
stuff.
I'm 50 years old, right? I got 3 granddaughters, 6, 4, almost 2, almost 4, almost 2. I've got guys that I know who had babies when they were 50 years old. I don't know how you do that. If you're one of those guys, I can't keep up with them.
No, it's much nicer at that age bracket, to play with the babies and then send them home.
I'm so glad that we did our baby thing, stopped doing our baby thing in the mid-30s. Because that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, if you stopped in the mid-30s, so that means you're on what, the great-grandchildren ones now?
I didn't say 1930s, you goober.
This is not one to stay up.
All right.
Just set it back down.
Oh, you got to get in there backwards and upside down and cross-eyed.
Oh, because you know what? It's weird, but when you close that, it's going to not move at all. It's going to be...
Boom.
Now watch. If you put it this way. Yeah. Anyway. So, the first one here is like, what are we thinking? Like,
oh, this guy.
Here's a problem that I see that's happening, and I understand, and before we even get into this, I get it. He hasn't technically done anything necessarily.
I think he has.
However, so this schmuck is accused, so this all started happening about 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
June 25th.
And so this is all the same guy. This isn't
One
multiple
guy.
people. This is one guy.
One guy. June 25th, accused of threatening to blow up the Lewis and Clark library branch. Yep, the library.
Blow up.
In front of multiple patrons and workers. He's arrested, released from jail, and the circuit court judge bans him from the library.
Oh, okay. So now everybody's safe.
So,
We won't go back.
I mean,
It's a gun-free zone.
I get it.
No
He
reason
didn't
to worry about
actually
it.
blow it up, but we release him. 2 weeks later, police arrest him again at the Metro bus station in North St. Louis, allegedly threatening to bash a security officer with a chunk of concrete before throwing it at the officer's feet. So he did throw the concrete at the officer, landed at his feet after telling him he was going to bust him in the head. Again, released from jail on his own
Arrested
recognizance.
and released.
Yeah.
You
Arrested
can't-
and released.
And they said you can't go back to the Metrolink, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, same day, arrested, released, and again the same day, police arrest him again for going onto the metro station. He was just told he couldn't go.
The Metro bus.
The metro station near Enterprise Center. So he's getting onto the Metro
Oh, the
Link.
Metro Link.
The actual
so the
Metro
first one
Link.
was he can't go to the bus station anymore because they said don't go there, right? That's why
Yes.
they released him. So he
Yes.
goes to the Metro Link instead.
Right.
Okay.
And
Well, he's following their instruction. He didn't go back to the library. He
yeah.
didn't
So they arrested him, let him go, and then they arrested him again for trespassing at the same station 5 days later, and the police are again saying he's threatening to kill 2 officers.
threatened to kill 2 police officers.
And again,
So he's
they
in jail,
released
right?
him
Oh, he's
on
not
his
in
own
jail.
recognizance. This time, though, he's to stay off the Metro buses, Metrolink trains, bus stops, and train stations. So they just kind of expanded on the places that he can't go that
So what you're
clearly
saying
he's
is
listening.
He's still out of jail, so he's coming to a Starbucks near me because that's all that's left for him, right?
Well, I'm guessing because he can't go to the library anymore. He can't go to buses. He can't go to trains. He can't go to those places. So I'm guessing clearly Starbucks is his next bet there. The one thing that it really just absolutely baffles me. Now this guy, clearly this is only over the past 4 weeks, and I couldn't find a whole lot of information on like if this guy has other problems, although with this trend I have a feeling that it's pretty good assumption that these aren't his first few issues that he's had. A witness to one of the arrests said they weren't sure what to think. She says, and I quote, "Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. It makes you nervous, but the metro security up here is real good," end quote. "I've never seen him hurt anybody," she was known to say.
Okay, this is
Like,
just,
I get that he hasn't
do
technically
you hear that
done
ticking in the
anything.
background? That's the time bomb.
Yeah, but it comes in, and so earlier
So how
this
the law
year in
reads-
Missouri.
what you're saying is how the law reads, unless he's actually done something,
Right.
they can't hold him. That's how the law reads now.
Well, that's the thing. So earlier this year, the state's highest court, the Supreme Court, announced some changes that are in regards to the pre-trial detention. So before you actually go on trial, and I understand where they're coming from, before you actually go to trial and are therefore proven guilty, you are presumed innocent. So the court system is basically held that says, hey, you guys, after looking at everything, there's a lot of these smaller, low-level crimes that there's no real party that's in any kind of like danger sort of thing. There's no, how do they say it, the eminent risk to public safety or your own personal safety, and that they're put on some sort of a bail and they have to pay some sort of a dollar amount, and a lot of people have problems coming up with that money, so they end up spending that pretrial time in some sort of a detention facility instead of being able to continue on with their job and so forth, and assuming that if they're innocent until the trial proves them guilty, we should be letting these people go and do things like carry on their daily life until it's proven in the trial system through the courts that, yes, this person has done something that we need to take them out of regular community. I get that, but this is where it comes to a point of like, this isn't like a one-time deal. This is a multi-time problem. There's been multiple people threatened, multiple places threatened. This guy is a problem, and unfortunately, we're not going to do anything about him until he actually hurts someone.
If nothing else, making those kind of threats continuously, he has something that's not connecting up here.
Yeah, he needs to, like,
He needs help at least
definitely
there.
needs help.
Why is it
either
that being
anger
considered?
issues or otherwise. Like this guy's obviously got issues that are not being resolved, because if in 2 weeks he's getting arrested, you know, he does something dumb, 2 weeks later he does something dumb again, the same day he does something again, 5 days later he does something again. Like, this is a guy over 3 weeks has been arrested 4 times.
And he's not shoplifting, he's threatening bodily harm and injury.
Yeah, including
murder,
like mass people.
Yeah, so
like,
this is, you know,
it's
heaven help us if he actually does hurt somebody.
Yeah,
there, you know, what's,
because unfortunately then at that point then he will be an actual danger, can be put, you know, held until his trial, but then people are already hurt.
Yeah.
And so whether it be a library or it be a you know, substation for a train or a bus or otherwise, like there's a lot of people that can be,
well, and a lot of his
know,
anger seems to have been focused on, you know, the authority figures, the security, the law enforcement. We're seeing that happen all over the place now. This New York thing,
the New York
driving
thing,
me crazy. I'm sure most people have seen it already, but
the
New York
cops.
officers being doused with water while they're doing their job, having stuff thrown at them, buckets.
And this is multiple, man.
Multiple
like, and
times.
as
It's
one
crazy.
video hits, and then another one, the second incident hits, then there's a third one that's popping up. Then there's like, so it quickly becomes something that becomes a real problem really fast. And
so I watched this story on the news yesterday, saw the videos, and then the very next story, they were talking about how there's a huge shortage of people going into law enforcement, and you wonder why.
Yeah, well, you have like there's like 200. What are they? 200 and I think we talked about it last week, but I think there's 200 and some odd spots that are open and need to be filled. They've hired, they've brought in, and I think maybe even either graduated or they brought into the system 160 160 or 150 or so, 145 or so new applicants, and yet lost an additional 165.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where we started off being short, we're farther short now than we were.
Even with the new recruits.
Yeah. And
the number one
who's the
reason-
one signing up for it?
Well,
not a whole lot of people, because this is the way they're treated.
Well, and they've interviewed a number of these, the number one reason that officers are leaving, if I'm remembering correctly, is that the political environment doesn't allow them to do their job.
Right.
They've politicized safety,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And and the politicians are out ringing bells talking about how bad law enforcement people are.
You got 60
Instead of-
60 officers in St. Louis that cannot write reports, write tickets, be
Yeah,
a witness.
just because they made somebody's list without due process, without anything.
Yeah.
So if, we
Yeah.
support law enforcement. We back the blue, our first responders, and people, when I grew up, police officer said, "Hey, come here." Guess what? Yes,
He
sir.
went over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Here we, now
Yeah.
now while they're in the process of arresting someone, they're being assaulted. It's just we're close to just scary. I mean, that's scary stuff already, right?
Yeah,
But so
absolutely.
if this is scary like this now, what's the next step? How bad's it going to get?
Blowing up ICE detention center, or ICE
It's-
facilities, and
It's scary.
and
It's scary.
then being called a martyr when you try and shoot at cops.
Well, how are they going to treat me walking down the street if they're treating cops that way?
Oh, you don't mean anything.
Yeah.
You might actually mean, it might actually be better than if you have a badge, though.
Yeah, maybe. Because I can actually defend myself
Right.
and not be
Right.
the bad guy.
Right.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
So other stupid happening in St. Louis, and unfortunately, it's like it's kind of a big thing.
Well, that was
lately.
New York. That's not St. Louis.
Yeah, that was New York, but
This is
so,
St. Louis stupid.
Yeah. So let's see, 10:45 last night, police responded to a call for a shooting where a man said he was driving his car and exited 55 at Broadway, and he was cut off by someone else in traffic. That person was driving a black SUV. I don't really know where that part came into the relevancy, but nonetheless, they're driving a black SUV and fired at least one gunshot at the victim, which grazed him in the head. So he's driving down the road, going to get off his exit. Guy cuts him off and then shoots him.
Well, I wasn't there, but I'm sure that after the cutoff there was one of these and, telling him it was number one, right?
So probably
Escalated that.
Probably
to some
something
extent.
along
And
that
you know what?
line.
I get it. When that happens to me, I get pissed. But bottom line is, it's not worth.
But what I don't understand
Losing
in
your
that
life
is I hear what you're saying, but in a typical situation, you'd have the road rage would be the guy that was cut off that would be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the guy that did the cutting off. So if it was
Well,
somebody
you know what?
honking behind you and giving you the one finger salute, you've already won,
No,
and yet you're going to turn and shoot?
So, but Chris, you got to remember, we've had multiple instances of people just driving down the interstate and getting shot
Very
in
true.
their cars.
Very true. And there was other ones of those that,
Yep.
that happened as well that just didn't pull out. Another brainiac, let's see, overnight, this morning I guess, 12:30 in the morning. Several shots reportedly fired at a fuel tanker
That's
that was in a
terrorist.
parking lot of a Shell station.
That's a terrorist act.
Absolutely. So, luckily, those of us that know about actual bullets and actual gasoline and so forth know that shooting a tanker is not really going to cause any kind of an explosion.
Well, if you
It
use
is going to cause a leak.
It will if you use a Mark 19 or a.
Well, that'd be a whole different ball
use-
game,
use
and
an
that's kind of
incendiary round.
launching an actual bomb at a fuel source to increase the boom. I get it. I
But
mean,
that's scary. You're standing
Yeah.
at a gas station getting gas and somebody's shooting at the gas truck.
right. And people get mad when smokers are smoking at the gas pump. Like, for real, people. God. Let's see, what other kind of dumb...
Oh, the guy that they found in the burning car.
Yeah, so at 10:10, which I find to be a little, anyway, 21-year-old Markale Loggins, I guess his name is, found dead inside a burning car, had multiple gunshot wounds. And this is like, it's sad. It's a lot of them come
21
up.
years old.
Too many of them come up.
Well, and this one's,
But
they're
here's
all
a 21.
bad.
Here's another one,
14-year-old
14-year-olds.
kid.
Yeah, and there's 2 other young children that got
An
shot this
11-year-old
weekend.
kid
And then it
sitting
makes,
on the
I
porch
want to
with his
say, a dozen or so. I think it's a dozen in the past 2 months.
Yeah. July has
Just under 15 years old.
Oh, you're
15
kidding.
and under. A dozen in the past 2 months.
What is wrong?
That's what I say. Like, here's another one. So this Ian Coleman, who's 14 years old, in Chippewa, in South St. Louis, gunshot wound in an apartment. Police are called to the apartment a little before 11 o'clock to make a welfare check. Hey,
Everything going okay?
we need to, I'd like somebody to stop by and check on this individual. Who knows why? They didn't say, but they find this 14-year-old dead with, they say, at least 1 gunshot wound. Who knows how many there are? And a group of teenagers were found at the apartment.
Partying in the apartment.
So there's a group of teenagers in the apartment with another teenager who has been shot and killed. They all know each other, and it's the police that are called there on a welfare check, not based on the fact that these teenagers are at an apartment with a guy who was shot.
Well, how does that happen? Did you see the video from Chicago?
Which one?
That 14-year-old girl with mental disorders
Yeah,
and
15.
disabilities
15, yep.
gets jumped and beat on by a bunch of people that she's walking with, and they're videotaping it and laughing about it?
Videotaping, laughing. So there's also some other stories that I was reading when I got into that said that there, and I don't know, because I guess when it happened to her, these girls came up to her, this group of girls came up to her and asked her if they could walk her to the Red Line, I think it was called,
It's
a bus stop.
Bus stop.
So they were going to walk her, and so she said, sure, you can. And then as they were walking, that's when they jumped them. And as many as up to 5 at one point jumped on this girl and started beating her and punching her and so forth. She's
disturbing.
15.
Screaming.
She's got some sort of mental disability that
She lost
I didn't
her mom
understand.
not too long ago.
It's gotten worse since her mom
Died? Yep.
died,
Yep.
and yet there's another little article in there. She went missing right after this happened. So there was a look trying to find where she was, and there was a bunch of people looking for her and so forth. And one of the people in one of those articles was saying that these girls that attacked her are related to another person that I guess this Miss Harris had been sexually. There's some sort of sexual deviance going on there, some sort of issue. And so these girls jumped her because they claimed she was talking to police. Which leads me around to the other story that said, well, if there was some sort of thing that happened to her sexually, and she went to report that, and then she gets jumped for reporting that, like, this is our problem. This is what causes these guys to be able to do 4, 5, 6 things problems, be arrested that many times. Like, this is serious problems, man. This is serious problems. So, I don't even know what the training that's in there. Like, there are some things that we can learn from some of these things. We have the other one with the killer for the Ole Miss girl. The girl that was found in Ole Miss. They arrested him. What is his
That's
name?
a local girl. She went to,
Allie Castile.
We know people who know her.
Yeah. So they've got this guy. Now, there is some reports that may have been a boyfriend.
Yeah, they're being
So I'm
very
not 100%.
tight-lipped on it.
They haven't
But
really
this
said
is-
a whole
this
lot,
is-
but she was shot 8 times.
Well, they're not even sure that the police have actually come out and said, we never told you she was shot 8 times. I don't know where you got that number. I'm not saying
so
that's
who
wrong.
knows?
But the point is, this young woman, very bright future, thought that she knew this guy and ended up not knowing him, obviously, off at college, and she's not with us anymore. Last thing I think the last video they have is her at a bar. She went to
Yeah,
go
she
into
went
a
to
bar
a bar and
You know,
didn't go in, but
so that's tragic. But what about this couple, the Australian man and the U.S. female that were murdered in Canada and left up on the side of the road? Have you heard about that one? Yep. They're kind of world travelers. They're driving through Canada. They've got video of them hugging each other and playing and enjoying themselves at a gas station, and then a few hours later they find their bodies on the side of the road up in rural Canada there. So what we're talking about isn't just in our backyards or our country, but it's the simple fact that this stuff is happening too much. We're not being responsible for raising kids and holding them accountable. And I watched a video the other night that was so awesome. It was at I think it was either a jiu-jitsu or a taekwondo tournament. And the coordinator or one of the coaches had everybody before the tournament started sitting there, and he was talking to them about how to talk to your kids when they lose. He said, you're at a tournament, half of your kids are going to lose today. Right?
yeah,
Because there's always a loser in those contests. Don't tell them, well, you lost because he's bigger than you, or you lost because of this, or you know, don't make excuses for them. Ask them, did you do the best that you could? Yes, then I'm proud of you. Did you give it everything you had? Yes, then I'm proud of you. Failure is a part of life.
yeah.
We don't want people to feel bad, so we don't say stuff, and we don't discipline, and we don't do all kinds of things. And this is what we're getting. This is what we're getting, is this lack of concern, there's no mutual respect for each other anymore. It's all about, well, I didn't get mine, so I'm going to take it from whoever's got it.
Yeah, and one of the biggest problems that they're having with all these things, I mean, you have this guy that's found dead inside his car, you have this 14-year-old, you have all of these issues, but the number one problem that most officers will tell you is their biggest hurdle is not getting any information from the community.
Yep.
And that's the self-policing that is not happening right now. And it's the, snitches get stitches. It's the don't tell on your neighbors and blah, 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 that's causing these guys to have the thought process that, well, I can do it because nobody's going to say anything about it. And if they do, I'll go take it out on them.
So and that exists. It absolutely exists. And I get it. I mean, if you're a single mom trying to raise 3 kids and, that's scary. That can be super scary, right? But what is compounding the problem exponentially is the fact that our leaders in these communities are berating the police officers instead of trying to work with them to solve these problems.
Yep.
And what do we have now? I mean, it's
near anarchy.
Borderline chaos. I mean, it's a scary, scary thing.
Yeah, I see the report the other day was saying that, and I don't know where the poll was taken at, but said that according to this one poll, as many as 90% of Democrats polled were saying that they expect a race war. Like,
please.
What?
Please.
Do we really, is that really what we've come to? We're going to have a war against each other based on a bunch of stupid.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
I
bunch of nothing.
I don't think that's coming. I see that definitely being a big divide that's happening right now. We definitely need to get over that, and I think number one is get this media out of the mix of the lies and the distortion they're telling.
You're not saying anything wrong. I don't disagree with any of that. But if we're gonna lead ourselves, fight our way out. Fight our way out is the wrong verb.
It sounds like that's the wrong verb.
But if we're going to move forward from where we're at, then we've got to start accepting the fact that, hey, you're not always going to like what I do, and I'm not always going to like what you do.
Right.
But I'm not going to tell you how to live your life until you punch me in the nose, and then there's a problem. Right?
Yeah.
But I can, this total lack of respect.
Depends on why I punched you in the nose. Because if you punch me in the nose and I punch you in the nose, then it makes sense.
Yeah. Your rights end at the tip of my nose, basically. But
yes.
What we've completely lost is the ability to communicate when we disagree, or the ability to say, they've got something that I don't, I'm going to figure out a way to earn that to be like them instead of take it from
What
them.
did they do that I can do that can give me what they've got?
Yeah, and I recognize that I was born into better circumstances than most people, but that's not an excuse. You know, you got to, at some point in time, you got to stop saying it's your fault that my life sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're making decisions that make your life suck.
Yeah.
I don't care what circumstance you find yourself in, you still have control over a lot of that stuff.
Agreed.
And I want to be a part of solving that, and I recognize that there are people that don't have the advantages that I've had. Well, how do we fix that without giving people fish, but teaching them to fish?
I think that's the key right there. Is you got to teach people to fish. And unfortunately, I mean, we can lead the horse to water, but we can't make them drink.
You have to have parents
but
that
you
want
got to
them
be
to
able
learn
to
how to
teach
fish.
people how to fish. And then when they don't fish, it is not our fault. You have all the necessary instruments you need to be able to fish and the knowledge to fish. You're choosing not to fish.
Yep. So anyway,
At that point, it's kind of not our business.
This has been a really awful show.
Yeah. Let's finish it up with something hilarious.
Folks,
Meth vans.
Don't get
Or
me
meth
wrong.
crops.
I love where we live. I love the country that we have, but we can be better.
Yeah.
That's what frustrates me.
So David Workman just made a good point. I thought it was a good point. He said the problem with don't talk about politics and religion is that we no longer know how to talk about politics and religion.
I agree, David.
Great point.
I agree entirely.
Yeah.
So, perfect case. My brother and I don't talk much at all in family environments because that ends up being what it ends up leading into, and
Conflict.
there's no way of talking to some people.
Yep.
So regardless of where you head, it ends up going down that road, and the intolerance of listening to someone you don't agree with has become rampant in this country. And
And I
think that's the problem, is that we're not listening to someone we disagree with anymore to find out, is there something that this person believes that does make sense, that may alter my thought process of what I think and may change my thinking on something. Which, like, if we're not looking at what are we thinking about that isn't correct, by listening to someone else who has a differing opinion, how do we grow as individuals?
You know who we need to get in here is KD. KD is a master at having these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
At being able
I like
to
that
talk
guy.
about.
4 hours.
Right.
And I know it's not a quick conversation.
Yeah, that's
I
more
totally
like
get
Do
that.
this at my house with cigars and whiskey.
Okay. But I mean, seriously.
If we do that at your house with cigars and whiskey, we're gonna need to like record all of it and then chop it down because.
I'll bring all the stuff to my house. We can do it on my
But I mean, the
Oh
truth.
man,
I mean,
a 4-hour live session with KD,
I'm down.
that would be awesome. So
that would be pretty neat.
yeah,
That would be pretty cool.
it
actually.
can be uncomfortable to converse with someone or debate with someone that has very differing views. My goal when I have those conversations, at the end of it, we may still disagree, but I may not have all of the facts that I think that I have. Talking to people that have lived through different circumstances or experienced different things versus what I'm hearing from the media or the news or whatever is extremely important in forming those opinions and being able to still have those relationships. So, folks, let's
finish it off with this fun one in
bigger
Australia.
than the problem.
So Australia is trying, we're all supposed to pay attention to Australia because they're great gun laws and they're great drug laws and blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
So you get this driver who drives his van and smashes into a police car parked at the police station. Funny part is, it took them an hour to find the suspect afterwards, and they found $140 million worth of methamphetamines in the van. So the guy's driving with $140 million worth of meth in his van and smashes into a cop car
At the police
in
station.
the cop police station. How amazing is that?
So it's just me, but I'm driving a van, and you want me to go where? Okay, the police station is there? Yeah, let's go a different route.
Smashes into the cop car in the police substation. Like, how amazing.
$140 million worth of, I don't know what does meth cost to buy?
I don't
Somebody
know,
out
but
there knows.
$140 million of it has got to be a lot of it. Like, I don't know how much it is.
Like,
Like,
did he
but
crash?
That's a lot.
Did he crash because it was so weighted down the front wheels wouldn't turn? And then,
I don't know. Woo. How do you do that?
wouldn't me.
So, and then think about that. If you were a cop and you're at the police station and there's a crash that happens outside, clearly they have to have cameras, wouldn't you think? They have to have cameras.
Yeah.
And they had to pull the cameras up and be like, holy crap,
That car just ran
there's
into
a car that just smashed into one of our cars. And they're driving away. Would you not think to say, hey,
What?
be on the lookout for a guy that is leaving westbound on 8th Street
Did he drive away?
from the police
Did
station?
he drive away or did he get out of the car and run?
Well, they found the van an hour later.
Oh, well, they probably did that.
An hour?
Oh, yeah.
Australia.
They drive on the wrong side of the road, dude. It takes them a while.
They can only make right turns. Oh, there he went! Damn, all these right turns! Instead of making all left turns, they make all right turns? Or is it they make all left turns instead of all right turns? I don't know, but let's listen to them.
They call it dope for a reason. Anyway.
Yeah. So, come look
Come
at
see
some
us.
good stuff.
Look at the new stuff. Shoot some guns. Take some classes.
Next week we'll have Dustin on here to be talking about Springfield things.
Yeah, You're gonna want to see that.
We got Glock
for sure.
things coming up at the end of September.
How to get tickets, what they can win, and all that stuff.
Oh, so Phil was talking. Yes. So on the Springfield days, we are giving away cool stuff. We're giving away a Saint pistol. We're giving an XDS away at the August 2nd to the 4th. So it'll be the 4th. That Sunday we'll be actually giving them away. How are we giving them away? We're giving tickets out. So if you're a member, come in. Hey, I'm a member. I need my ticket. Boom, we give you one ticket. If you're a lifetime member, you get 3 tickets. If all you got to do is buy a Springfield.
If you buy a
get
Springfield?
5 tickets for buying any Springfield gun. And the other way to do it is rent a Springfield. So we got free rentals on all the Springfields right now.
So I'm a member.
Come in.
I come in. I get a ticket for showing up.
Yep.
I rent a Springfield. I get another ticket.
Doesn't cost you anything either.
And the rental's free. You just have to buy the ammo.
Yep.
Right? And then I buy a Springfield.
And I don't care how
XDS.
many rounds you put through the Springfield. Come in every day and just walk in and be like, hey,
So
I
I can
need
get
a
a
box of
ticket.
ammo.
I
I
can
want to
come
rent
in.
a Springfield. Boom, boom. Walk in, walk out, hand us the Springfield back. It can still be cold. I don't really care. Just rent it. I would suggest shooting it because if you're going to have a gun and ammo, you might as well shoot it.
I can come in every day and get a ticket.
Every day. Boom.
That's
Come
awesome.
in, rent a Springfield, get a ticket. Come in, rent a Springfield, get a ticket. Come in, rent a Springfield, get a ticket. Buy a Springfield,
Phil's
get
laughing.
5.
We got a good one here.
Dave, again, says, Dustin's on the show, will you even need a co-host?
Well, I mean,
Only to shut him up.
Dave, you want to come in? We'll have the Dave and Dustin
The double
Carnival
D.
show. It would be just awesome. Yeah, I mean, we got to have somebody that can veer him off of the grip zones every once in a while. Veer him off the grip zone, let him jump onto it. But, like,
So starting now, they can come in and get their tickets now?
starting already, yes.
Yep.
So come in. You can choose whether your ticket goes in for the XDS or the Saint. Doesn't matter to me which one
Dude,
you
it
want
gets
to try
even
and
better.
win.
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
The ladies shoot free on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so ladies can come
So
in
you
and
can come
shoot
get a
free.
lane for free, run a gun for free, buy some ammo, get a couple tickets.
Yeah.
Dang.
And I'm just saying it right now. Ron might get mad at me, but if you just come in here and say, I'm just here to rent the Springfield, cool. You end up with a box of 50 rounds and a ticket.
They're
and I
buying
don't
the
care
box
what
of
you do.
50. We're not giving them the box of 50.
Well, right, yeah. You get, and it's an
Otherwise,
insurance
we would
thing
have a
with,
problem.
you have to buy, we have to shoot our
Gotta
ammo.
shoot our ammo
and
through
that's
our
just
guns.
so that if
Yep.
the gun has a problem or if you
But
have
still,
a problem while
yeah, it's
shooting
a
the gun
friggin'
or
great deal.
something, we can go back to the ammo manufacturers. But yes, I don't care. Like, buy a box of ammo. I need to rent that Springfield. Cool. Go out, come back. You can bring your box of 50 with you. I don't really even care if you shoot the thing. Just come in, rent one, get your ticket. Be
And then we'll do the drawing live Sunday the 4th?
Sunday the 4th, live.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that?
I believe that we have it set for either 3 or 4 o'clock. Dustin and I were talking about
There'll
it.
be some posts.
We'll have more info about it next week. Next week will be all about Springfield stuff on live, going to all the details of the Springfield days. We will have Springfield rep will be here doing free inspections on guns.
We'll have some extra inventory in the store.
We'll have a bunch of extra inventory. We'll have lots of different guns that you can play with upstairs. We'll have a second set that you can play with downstairs. I believe Dustin is working on trying to come up with some sort of a competition thing because we got a bunch of swag from Springfield.
Cool.
So come out, get some free stuff, have a good time, shoot some free guns. I believe Springfield's
the
even
cool
donating
kids.
some ammo, so like you're gonna literally be able to come in and try out some of the Springfields next weekend, and it will be of zero cost to you until you decide which one you want to buy.
That's cool.
And then we'll have better deals on Springfields for that too. So
All right.
win, win, win. And check out this sweet 80s style shirt. Hilarious.
I do love it. Thing.
It's hilarious.
It's a Gen 1, smooth, no red.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Goofballs. You can find them on the website. So check out the website. You never know what you're going to find. You're going to find some fun
You can
stuff.
buy that on
The only
the website?
downside to trying to find shirts and stuff on the website, I'll just give you a heads up. Yes, I know I don't have an option on it, but it puts all the sizes or all the colors separately. So if you want a gray, it's gray, and then you got to find, okay, there's
Double
the
X.
gray small, there's the gray medium, there's the white medium. I don't know why. I wish I could fix that, but I'm extremely limited on what we can do on the website. But
Right now.
they are there. It is fun, and I will post a link so that you guys can pick up your awesome, goofy 1980s Glock shirt.
Yeah, Dave Core, he
Dave?
loves the shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
He also said he picked up an AR pistol, Ruger AR pistol, and loves that as well.
Cool.
Oh, the Ruger pistols are nice too.
Those, yeah.
All the AR pistols are pretty sweet though. I mean, you really can't
I'm
go
a big
wrong.
fan of that
And-
AR pistol platform, man.
Yeah, and
Especially with the braces that are out there now.
Yes, and I mean, we just did a big one, big live show a couple weeks ago. I'm a big proponent on upgrading your rifle.
Yeah.
But
Make it yours.
the thing is, you work within your budget. Like if you know exactly what you want, cool. Let's start figuring out where to get all the parts, compile them all, build your perfect rifle. Or if you're impatient, like most of us are,
Buy one.
that fits and checks most of the boxes, and then figure out what boxes you need to fill in.
Next week, make sure that he's got one of those Saint
Big
AR
zones.
pistols and
Isn't
SB4 brace and
You know what?
An AVG.
That should probably be the buyer's job to make sure we have that.
okay. Yeah, but I'm sure. Shit, that's me.
Yes! Yes! Yes, it is.
I think there's one on the wall right
Good to
now.
have you back now.
Come see us.
Come see us. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? We'll see you next week.
Bye.